And this is always easier if you have somebody else with you that can play the drums or whatever while you're checking things. I use a program called Sonar. Quite a few different programs out there, Cubase and Pro Tools, and all kinds of different things. I prefer Sonar because it's so much MIDI oriented and printing and scoring stuff, and I use all of those aspects of it. But pretty much most really high-end studios use something called Pro Tools to do this, but it's still the same kind of concepts, ins and outs, and so on and so forth. With Sonar here, we start a new file. I'm going to go ahead and name it as brand new song 1. Not that I haven't recorded 100 songs before, but anyway, this comes up with just a general template. I like to change some things about the template real quickly, like the meters. You see the little VU meters here. They go up and down. I like to make them go horizontal so I can get a little bit more area about them. We're not going to use these MIDI tracks. We're going to delete these real quick. I'm going to use them right now. Alright, to start off with, we're going to have 4 tracks, so we're going to have to insert 2 new audio tracks. This first track is kick drum. With this computer recording system, basically you have an input, an output. This has already got an effects send set up for it. This is your volume. This is your trim, and that's basically the same thing as volume, but it's your volume coming onto the track. This is your volume going off of the track. Now this is relevant when it comes to different things like how your compressor interacts or how your effects interact with it. Depending on how much energy goes into it, it affects how much comes out of it. This is your pan, basically your left and right, your stereo pan, your stereo field. This program will actually allow you to do things in 3 dimensions where you have several different panning directions, but I just use left and right for simplicity's sake. M is mute, S is solo. Solo would be listen to the track like muting everything else. R is to arm it to record. This is an echo button. I don't use echo very often, but you may need to when you're recording. Basically what that does is it sends whatever comes into it back out of it to like either headphones or whatever else. But I echo with my sound card, which is this other. I use a M-Audio Delta 1010 LT, and I use it to echo my sounds already, so my program doesn't have to do it. There's also something called latency within the program, and if you do echo it, there's going to be a bit of a delay. Now you can adjust this delay to not be very fast, or to be very fast. But it's still a little bit of an annoyance for me, so I prefer to use the sound card echoing. Read and write here. This is if you're writing automation. Automation is changes in volume and other things like that over time. We're not going to worry about that right now. But anyway, that's the gist of this box. This box over here, whenever I highlight the track, basically shows me all of the same things for this track, just in a different kind of way. This is an effects group too, I'm sorry. This is where you can plug in effects like compressors or reverbs or whatever else you want to have for the track. But basically this is the same type deal. You see if I turn the volume up and down, it goes up and down there. Same with the panning, it does that. So this is basically another kind of a controller that looks a little bit like a mixing board controller, so people are a little bit more comfortable with it. Anyway, so now we're going to set up our kick drum, which is on input number. This runs in kind of a strange way, but it has stereo left and right, and basically these are all the same inputs. But this is you can either run it as stereo input, or you can run it a left and a right input on number 1 and 2. So basically 1 and 2 left is 1. That's going to be the kick drum. Snare, which is coming in on 2. Is going to be on your input right of 1 and 2. Okay, the overheads, they're going to come in on 5 and 6. I just know that that's the way they're set up. I've already set them up that way. Now theoretically, we'll have to check them and make sure that that's the case. Sometimes things get switched around. Come in on 6, input number 6. which is right of 5 and 6. All right, now we can just arm all these and see if we have sounds. Okay, so we're getting our sound on 6, but we're not getting our sound on 5. We have to diagnose that. Hello! The snare drum may or may not pick it up, and the kick drum may or may not pick it up. So, all right, we're just going to pause the camera for a second, and then we're going to diagnose this, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay, so Ryan diagnosed our problem with the recording. He helped me diagnose it. Basically, I just had a wire switched. Once again, things get switched up a little bit, so it's good to check those type of things. So basically, we have a kick and snare, overhead, and overhead. All right, now to record this, we're going to have to add some sort of a metronome. That's the way I like to record stuff. Now, it's not essential. You don't have to record with a metronome, but I suggest that you do record with a metronome. So I'm going to set up a metronome here to play through the headphones while we record. The metronome is up here. It is going to be a sound here. Let's see. And we don't know what speed or what sound, what speed we're going to use yet. I haven't actually written the song that we're going to record yet. Maybe some point in time we'll talk about a writer's workshop too. Not that I'm the best writer in the world, but I'm a good writer. I'm all right. All right. Now this is extremely difficult in the fact that there's only me running things. Ryan's here to help, but he's holding the video camera. So he can only help so much, but we're going to have him push some buttons occasionally for us while we're doing this. Now this little jam box that I've got here, this is my headphones. This little jam box has been with me for a long, long, long time. Probably longer than any other single piece of equipment I've ever had. It's one of the first things I ever bought to record with. And it's been a faithful, faithful box. Okay, so they have to have some sort of a headphones for their drummer so the drummer can hear what's going on. Right now all the drummer's going to be hearing is a click track, but it still has to be heard. Okay, Ryan, go hit R on the computer keyboard for me. R initiates the recording process. Okay, I got off the metronome. Now, like I said, I have no idea what I'm doing. All right, first little piece of drums.